That takes the
Can you
pressure
tell
off.
me, Sam, can you
Yeah.
tell me with your group, maybe can you share with the group one of the stories that a coach who impacted your life? Or
Yeah, my high school field hockey coach just took an interest in me. I was kind of a nerd in school and I had a little bit of athletic ability, and she really just spent a lot of time with me, and from my sophomore year on we won a state championship together. And
how did she do that? What did she do? Did she make you feel more included in the team? What happened?
she did. She used to, she was also a history teacher, so I used to stay after her class a lot, and she just spent a lot of time with me one-on-one and connected with me, and pointed me toward ways to get better.
So in a sense, she stopped what she was doing, and in that moment gave you her full attention.
Absolutely, yeah.
Coach?
You know, mine, I actually flashed on something that happened this summer. There was a guy who was working on a crew painting my fence. He's a graduate from Cal, painting my fence. But
That's the difference between Cal.
exactly. And I found out he used to play Cal, and I asked him what his years were, and I said, "Oh, did you play for so-and-so?" And I happened to play for the same coach, and this is a big, burly, rough guy, and he actually stops painting, and he looks down at the ground, and he says, "If I were to see that guy today, I would take that son of a bitch out." And he went on to explain to me that he was a defensive lineman, this guy was a defensive line coach. He said, "We almost dropped him in practice. He was inches from being beaten by 12 defensive linemen at Cal."
Wow.
People hated him that much. So I played for that guy a couple years later. And I thought of him, and I thought about what a negative impact he had. I mean, almost removed my passion for the game.
Right.
It took a lot to resurrect it after that, because it was just such a negative experience. And the impact, that was a significant impact at that point in my life. And I kind of was thinking of something, you know, maybe not where you wanted to go.
Right,
but,
no, stole your joy.
Yeah, that was a huge part of it.
And that's you know, later on in this workshop, we'll talk about how at the age of 13, 70% of the young men and the young women who participate in sports in this country quit because it's no longer fun. So that's certainly another impact. And so why, we've talked about why. Later on we're going to talk about how do you want to be remembered? What will your legacy be? PCA is a nonprofit organization started in actually in a small closet at Stanford University. Jim Thompson, 1998. Spread all the way across the United States now. It's a movement. It's a powerful way to be able to give tools to coaches, to parents, to kids, to student athletes, to communities to be successful in life. As you see, we have many great supporters today with this Little League workshop. Little League Baseball supports the PCA, but we have other supporters who also help to provide the resources that we need to be able to provide this. Our national organization has some proven coaches behind it. Anybody, gosh, you're throwing me a curveball here, Ruben. Anybody recognize this young lady up here?
Change the slides if I can download a new one.
Anybody recognize
Summer
this lady?
Sanders.
Summer Sanders, Oakmont High School, Roseville, California. You all know where Oakmont is since you're all from the Sacramento area. And she grew up and is a national board spokesman. Helps us decide the direction of how we can provide those resources, as well as local coaches from right in your community, double goal coaches. Coaches who were that long before PCA even began, some. And so we listen to them. The model that we're talking about today is the double goal coach. The PCA model of coaching, striving to win. Who here wants to win? Put your hand up if you want to win. I am competitive. I want to win at everything that I do. When my wife and I are competing in Jeopardy, I want to beat her every night, even though she does well against me. You know, but I'm competitive. I want to win. But at the same time, there are life lessons that can be taught along the way. What kinds of things did you learn, Coach, in your years in sports?
Persistence.
How about you, Coach?
Yeah, the idea of bouncing back from mistakes was really important for me. Yeah.
Performing under pressure.
Under pressure. Outstanding. And what did you learn about persistence? What happened in that? Can you share some of this?
I think for me it was, God, I hate to say it, like I became a battering ram. I don't know if that's the right image, but just learning that there are some things that are pretty painful, you know, in some of the sports, and you have to just push through them. You know, you have to be willing to endure a battering over a time to be able to improve.
And was that a coach who gave you that?
I think it was a series of coaches along the way.
So,
But what they taught me was to internalize that, and instead of trying to impress other people, to internalize it, you know, and make that one of my strengths, a character strength, so to speak.
and Sam, in your words, as a nerdy 13-year-old who was out for sports for the first time, how did you battle back in the character trait that you mentioned?
Performing under pressure.
Performing under pressure.
Well, I think I learned pretty early on that the antidote to the pressure was preparation and just working hard at practice. And I actually got grounded my summer going into my junior year, and I was only allowed to go to babysitting jobs and field hockey practice.
Outstanding.
So for a whole summer, I was the first one at practice and the first one to leave because I didn't have anywhere else to go.
Very focused.
Very focused, yes. So I kind of learned, I think that was how I learned the way you play under pressure, is that you know that you put the time in ahead of time.
So that's where we're going today in this model of a double goal coach. We're striving to win, but we're doing so in teaching those life lessons. Is that right, Coach?
Yeah, no, I like it.
Developmental Zone, within the PCA, we offer workshops, single goal leadership workshops for your organization. We've had a great opportunity to be able to talk to the leadership of your organization with a workshop. We do the double goal coach, which is striving to win and teaching life lessons in that process, as well as triple impact competitor awards. Now that's usually geared for a little bit older student athletes, but it's to make themselves better, to make their teammates better, to honor the game. And last but not least, second goal parents. Anybody here have, as coaches, how many of you have coached for 3 years, 5 years, 8 years? Have you ever dealt with parents before? Tell us about that, Ruben.
Well, they seem to be a double-edged sword. Sometimes they help the cause, and sometimes I feel like they can get in the way of the cause.
How can they get in the way of the cause?
Well, for example, if I'm preaching sportsmanship to the kids, and then first game of the season, as soon as the ref makes a bad call, mom and dad are in the stands screaming at the official, it seems like we're working against each other. We're not teaching the same thing.
And that's exactly one of the things that we focus on in our workshops with parents. And we urge you as coaches and as leadership in this organization to set up workshops for us, for second goal parents, but so that they can understand that coaches coach and players play. And it's parents' job to reinforce those life lessons that are happening on the field, in the community, in the classroom, in life. 3 principles that we're going to